Marco Polo called this the most beautiful island in the world, but for many here it has become hell on earth. Tourists still travel to Sri Lanka, and in the south there's little evidence of the war that has claimed over 30,000 lives in the last 12 years. The animosity is an ancient one, Hindu Tamil versus Buddhist Senhalese. More recently, the Tamils have complained of discrimination and persecution. Here in Colombo in 1983, the conflict boiled over. Senhalese mobs rampaged through Tamil areas, flattening homes. Across the country, thousands of Tamils were killed. It was a point of no return. 12 years of ethnic war followed. We're heading to Jaffna in the Tamil-controlled north. On the way, we pass through the ancient Sri Lankan capital, Anaranapuram. One of the most important Buddhist cities in the world. 10 years ago this month, the sacred temple here was the site of a massacre of 150 Buddhist monks, nuns and pilgrims by the Tamil Tigers. 66-year-old Sudama remembers the day all too clearly. Vavuniya, just before the front line, is an important centre for Tamils. Here, those heading north can stock up with last-minute purchases. This is the only route north for civilians and goods alike. Although the embargo has been lifted during the ceasefire, travellers are routinely searched. Most Tamil civilians are forced to carry everything across the 3 kilometres of no man's land. We head further into Tamil Tiger territory, and as night descends, approach the Tigers' clandestine harbour on the edge of the Jaffna lagoon. Civilians and goods alike must travel this way. All other routes to Jaffna are blocked by army camps. Even this lagoon crossing is within range of snipers from a military base. Tonight the mood is relaxed, but it's a false calm, for on the east coast of Sri Lanka, in Trincomalee Harbour, another boat is setting out with 4 Tamil Tigers, intent on a suicide mission that will end the peace. Jaffna Town, the centre of the Tamil rebellion, has suffered extensively during the fighting. Down in the bombed-out quarter of the town stands the shell of the Jaffna Library. Once a storehouse for irreplaceable old Tamil texts, it now houses the homeless. Destroyed by government forces, it is today a further touchstone for the Tamils' resentment of the Sinhalese.
சாப்பாட்டு வசதிகள் மற்ற நாங்கள் இருக்கிற வசதிகள் குறைவு.
But it's a ruin. Isn't there anywhere better for them to live?
வேலை செய்கிற சுகத்துக்காக மற்ற அந்த படுக்க வசதிக்காகத்தான் இதுக்குள்ள இருக்கிறோம். வேறு இடத்துல கட்டிடங்கள் அவ்வளோ இதாக இல்லைங்களா, வசதிக்காக இல்லை.
The war has destroyed the economy here. Export industries have no markets and raw materials are unavailable. Like with so many things, the Tamils have been forced to be resourceful. Cars and motorbikes run on kerosene, sold by the bottle, while the engine is primed with paint thinner or eau de cologne. The Tigers' rule here is authoritarian and harsh. A network of informers ensures everyone toes the party line. But today is a holiday in the rebel-held areas as the Tigers commemorate the death of one of their martyrs. For the people of Jaffna, it's a chance to relax as they try and carry on life as normal. In a vote of confidence in the future, a couple get married. Here at St James's Church, they're rebuilding after it was bombed by the Sri Lankan Air Force. The church's priest, Father Nayakam, narrowly escaped injury. 13 others were killed in the attack. What is the grievance of the Tamils in this conflict? Why are they fighting?
If I have to say, be honest to your question, it's we are treated as second-grade citizens here. Therefore, we have to tell them that we don't have all these necessary basic needs for me to live in this country. So give us, otherwise we have to take it.
By nightfall, news of the attack against the Navy the night before has started to filter through. The Tamil Tigers radio station, Voice of Tigers, broadcasts the news. A Tamil Tiger suicide squad has blown up 2 large Navy boats in Trincomalee Harbour, killing 12 and seriously injuring over 20. Slowly, people realise that the war has restarted. Next morning, there's a change. More Tamil fighters are on the move. We arrive at the headquarters of the Tamil Tigers to find preparations are being made for the renewed war. Leaders and spokesmen for the Tigers have gone to ground. There is a feeling that a political shift has occurred with the Hawks in ascendancy. But there is no doubting the end of peace. Tell me, what's the latest situation now? Do you know the war is back on?
Yeah.
Yesterday, kerosene was 30 rupees a litre. With news of renewed fighting, the price has already jumped 30%. Reports are coming in that the Sri Lankan army is retaliating. We head north. There are several Sri Lankan army camps still on the Jaffna Peninsula. Behind this barricade is one of them. It was from here that last night's shooting occurred. Can you ask this? The shelling turns out to have been light, But 70-year-old Tampo Ramalingam is taking no chances. Once before, his house was looted and burned by the Sri Lankan army. This time, he's moving out. The Tamil attack in Trincomalee has prompted government retaliation. It's no longer safe here.
We have provided ample time, and in the east, the state forces were behaving in the most atrocious manner during the time when the peace cessation of hostilities was in force. Civilians as well as the LTT cadres were subject to very inhuman treatment during this period, and that is the very reason that the eastern province was specifically selected for an attack.
The method of attack, namely suicide squad, was not unusual, nor was it unusual that 2 women were involved. In the northern town of Valveditarai, I met Arumugaswamy. He lost his daughter, Lieutenant Colonel Nalani, who at 22 slipped through the Sri Lankan Defence Forces with 2 others in a small boat loaded with explosives. She was killed blowing up the second largest ship in the Sri Lankan Navy. Wasn't Nalani's life wasted by suiciding?
அப்படி நினைக்கலாம். ஆனால் இப்போ நடக்கிற இந்த போராட்டத்துக்கு ஒரு சுலபமான ஒரு முறை, கனவேரை நாங்கள் இழக்கிறத விட ஏராளமான ஆட்களை இழந்து ஒரு வெற்றியை காண்றதை விட ஒரு சிலரை இழந்து பெரிய வெற்றியை காண்றது இலகுன்றதை நான் என்னுடைய மகளுக்காக இல்லை
Turn! One position!
Over 7,000 Tamil Tigers have died in battle. But even in the peace of recent months, more continue to join. In a matter of months, in one district alone, 1,200 new recruits joined.
அது இவ்வளோ காலம் ஒரு சமாதானம் பண்ணுறது இருந்தாலும் அந்த சமாதானம் பண்ணுறது நாங்கள் மீறினோம்னு சொல்லி சொன்னால் திரும்ப ஒரு யுத்தம் இடாமல் வரப்போகுது. அதுக்காக வேண்டி தான் கூட சேர்ந்துருப்பேன்.
It's this willingness to sacrifice themselves, this fanaticism, that has become the Tamils' most terrible weapon.
எங்களோட தமிழ் ஈழம் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு தனி நாடு தேவைன்றதுக்காக வேண்டி.
This war is being waged by boys and girls as young as 14. Youngsters raised with a death wish and obsessed with martyrdom. Back in Colombo, the government seems uncertain as to how to respond to the restarting of the war. President Chandrika Kumaratunga and her senior ministers go to ground, refusing to talk to the media. While the government has vowed to resolve the ethnic problem with or without the Tamil Tigers, it no longer has a plan that seems feasible or which deals with the new ground realities. When I first started this journey, I had hoped to tell a positive story of peace after 12 years of inglorious war. But in just the last few days, that scenario has proved to be too optimistic. Jaffna is once again under siege, and the Tamil Tigers are once again waging war. Both sides appear intransigent. There's little chance they'll return to the negotiating table. Peace for Sri Lanka seems as far off as ever.